What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Art of Suffering podcast with Dalton Darnell. Today, we have a very special topic to discuss. I was on the fence on this one, once again battling the enemy with my Southern Baptist roots. At some point in your marriage, you're going to find yourself married to a woman that doesn't want to sleep with you. It's a pretty hopeless spot, and I'm here to tell you that it's your fault. The reason why she does want to or doesn't want to solely is based upon your ability to meet her needs. This is a long road. This is how you build an incredible marriage with your wife, and your wife is going to have wounds from your complacency. She is going to have wounds from your laziness. She is going to have unmet expectations that she had of you that you have not been meeting for years. You're going to need the king here. You're going to need him to change your heart towards your wife. You're going to need him to change who you are fundamentally and the way that you look at your marriage. Today, what we're going to talk about is what happens and why your wife doesn't want to have sex with you anymore. Why you find yourself in a sexless marriage. Why there's no intimacy in your relationship. Why you don't understand. That's what we're going to talk about today. That's the nitty-gritty of it, guys. That's a pretty hard spot to find yourself in as a man. That's a spot that I'm pretty sure every man has found themselves in and figured out how to combat over the years. And today I'm going to give you some tools, and I'm going to give you some advice, some lessons learned. We're going to talk about some conversations I've had this week with other men who find themselves in this situation, because it's a pretty hopeless spot. With the way the world is nowadays, with the internet, with porn, with what people wear to the gym, you pretty much don't have a lot of weapons. You don't have a lot of weapons to combat these things. And we can talk about Bible verses. We can talk about praying. We can talk about taking your thoughts captive. But when there's a gal standing in front of you at the gym in skin-tight leggings, and you can practically see her booty hole, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble. It's not right. This is why dads are important. Somebody to take that young lady and say, we're not wearing that outside the house. Have you lost your mind? That's important. And if you're a woman and that makes you mad, you're the problem. You should put clothes on. Period. End of story. And if you knew what goes on in a man's brain, you would put clothes on. You would wear clothes. So it's something that's getting increasingly worse. And this is something that I deeply fear for my sons. And we're not really at the age yet where we're discussing these things or combating these things with them yet, because I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, but it's something that weighs heavy on my mind. You can't hardly go to Target or to Walmart or walk around in the world anywhere without somebody being excuse me, without seeing a woman that is just half dressed, quite literally. I'm very thankful that my mother-in-law and father-in-law really taught my wife some modesty, because it is a concerning thing. With all that being said, let's get back to the nuts and bolts of it. So at some point in your marriage, you're going to find yourself married to a woman that doesn't want to sleep with you anymore. Not in the mood, always got a headache, insert excuse here. And I'm here to tell you that it's your fault. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that there's a reason why she wanted to sleep with you in the beginning, and there's a reason why she doesn't want to sleep with you now. And whether it's valid or not, the fact is that this meeting of the needs, so to speak, is very important for you. As a man, it's going to be very important to you that your wife sleeps with you. And I'm here to tell you that it's all on you. The reason why she does want to or doesn't want to solely is based upon your ability to meet her needs, right? And I'm not going to get into biblical truth about this because I don't really know it. All I know is life lessons here, life experiences, things that I've done over the years or have not done over the years that has affected this part of my life. And for the longest time, it was just a theory. This was just something that I started operating in a different way, and I never really talked to anybody about it because men don't typically talk about this. And if they do, it's just a bunch of bitching and whining, right? It's like, oh, my wife never wants to sleep with me, blah, blah, blah. And you're just kind of bashing her. And that's not productive, right? That doesn't fix anything. The conversations that you have with men outside of this should, in my opinion, look like this one, but I never had those conversations. I never talked to my dad about it. I never talked to my grandfather about it. No one ever confronted me about it. Like, no one ever prepared me for it. But this is just me kind of stumbling through life, figuring this out as we go. And it's been successful. And once again, I never really thought it was just a theory in my brain. And I started operating in a different way. And things started to change in my life. And then I have a very close friend of mine that was having the same trouble. And for the last year and a half or so, we've been discussing these things every week. We've been talking about this every week and the things that I do to help, the things that I do to make my wife feel secure and loved and wanted and needed and all of the things that women want to feel. And after about a year and a half of this, his wife has started to change. His wife has started to talk about these things with him. She started to talk about what she wants and what she needs and what makes her feel loved. And it's changing his whole life. It's changing his whole marriage. And I'll be the first to tell you, if you're going to start down this road, if you're married to a woman that is resentful or doesn't feel loved, doesn't feel secure, isn't having her needs met, this is a long row to hoe. This is a long road. This is the long game. This is how you build an incredible marriage with your wife, a very intimate relationship with your wife, but it's going to take time. Wounds do not heal overnight, and your wife is going to have wounds from your complacency. She is going to have wounds from your laziness. She is going to have unmet expectations that she had of you that you have not been meeting for years. And so it's going to take her a lot of time to relearn who you are or who you're becoming, okay? And I'll be the first to tell you that it's going to take Christ. You're going to need the King here. You're going to need him to change your heart towards your wife. You're going to need him to change who you are fundamentally and the way that you look at your marriage. So let's start first with kind of how it happens, right? I was just discussing this with Evan. He works for me here at the shop, and we were talking about it before the podcast, and I was explaining to him a scenario of how it happens. So let's say Evan's a young guy. Let's say Evan gets married at 22. And up to this point, he has his wife has lived with her parents. Her dad makes really good money. She's always felt really secure, right? And up to this point, whether they were having sex before marriage or having sex now that they are married, she's wanting it a lot, right? That's kind of how it starts. We're talking about the honeymoon phase here. It's a great time in life. Your wife's wanting it all the time. That's a cool thing. Well, so let's say they buy them a house, right? Let's say they make quite a bit of money. Let's say they make $4,000 a month, and they buy a house, and now their mortgage is $1,500 a month. So now they're down to $2,500. Let's say she wants a new car. So Evan, being the fine gentleman scholar he is, slips out there and buys her a new car at the tune of $600 a month, right? So now we're working with $1,900 a month. So now let's say that Evan's car breaks down, but he's got to get to work to provide. So he goes out and gets him a car payment. Now we're looking at $1,400 a month. So now we got $1,400 a month for gas, for fun, for food, for all the things. And let's say month one, all's well that ends well. We have no trouble. But month two, we get into the third week of the month and money's tight. And his new pretty wife says, I don't feel like cooking tonight. I want to go out to eat. And Evan has to say, we don't have the money to go out to eat. She's like, what the hell? What are you talking about? We don't have the money to go out to eat. I want to go out to eat. Like, we can't go out to eat. And in her brain, it immediately starts like the security blanket, right? The safety starts breaking down, right? It's like, well, my dad could always take us out to eat. What are you talking about? Like, what the heck? But money's tight now, right? We're married. We're a new family. So then let's say a couple weeks later, we get down to, the sandwich meat, a loaf of bread, and a half a bag of chips in the pantry. And she comes in and says, I think I need to go grocery shopping. And Evan says, well, we don't have the money right now. I get paid in 3 days. We can go grocery shopping then. Well, for a man, it's no big deal. We're going to eat sandwiches, whatever. We're just going to have some sandwiches for the next 3 days, and then we can go grocery shopping. But a woman's brain is not like a man's brain. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything that a woman thinks, because I dang sure don't. But I'm gonna spend my life trying to figure it out. But I'm gonna guess her mind's gonna go to the future, right? Well, what if my tire blows? Then what are we gonna do? If we don't have enough money for groceries, how are we gonna fix the tire? Right? What if the air conditioner goes out? We live in Alabama. It's super hot down here. What if the air conditioner goes out? If we don't have enough food to go get groceries right now, then what are we going to do when the air conditioner breaks? Well, Evan's brain isn't thinking this way. Right? Evan's like, well, we're just going to go to work. I'm going to get my paycheck, and then it's all going to be fine. Right? But the security's broken now. And so let's say we're sitting there watching TV. They have their sandwiches. They were delicious. We got 2 more days till payday. And Evan's feeling himself a little bit. So he gets up and he's like, hey, you want to go to the bedroom? Hey, you trying to get in there and get after it? Like, what's up? And she responds with, no, I don't really feel like it. And he immediately is going to be like, what? What do you mean you don't feel like it? What are you talking about? Well, she doesn't feel safe. She is not thinking about sex anymore. She's thinking about the tires. She's thinking about the groceries. And she's worried about it. And I'm not saying you can change your money overnight, right? But just having that little bit of knowledge that her concerns in her brain are going to go to the future, right? Her concerns are not now, they're not now with you, right? And you being able to combat that in a certain way, or at least make her feel safe to share that with you, because she's going to think in her head, I can't say this to him. He's going to think I'm crazy. So now the enemy, right, has your wife not thinking about your needs, okay? He has your wife not feeling secure. He has your wife worried. And when this goes on for a long period of time, and there's going to be times in your marriage where this is going to last a long time, especially in the beginning, because there's not a lot of money. There's not a lot of extra. You're trying to build your life. But this is going to worry her. This is going to bother her. And if you don't know this and you ignore it, you ignore her cares and concerns. One, you ignore them because they're not your cares and concerns, right? And 2, you ignore them because they don't make sense to you. Or 3, she quits sharing them with you because you're dismissive. These are all things that are going to totally break down your intimate relationship with your wife. What's crazy about this is that no one freaking tells you. No one tells you this is going to happen. You have no clue going in. No idea. You're just doing what you do. Not paying attention, not communicating, not allowing your wife to communicate. All these things lead to the bedroom. Do you hear me? All of these things lead back to the bedroom. And so for us, how does it all fall apart, right? It all falls apart with laziness, complacency, insecurities, unrealistic expectations, preconceived notion, and a lack of communication. It will break all of these things down. But the fact is if we start in the mirror, right? If you think about what you looked like at 22 when you got married, okay, and your wife's a really good cook and you like to snack and sit on the couch and be lazy, and you go look at yourself now in the mirror at 32, and you are a fat, hairy, smelly version of yourself. Like, let's be completely honest with one another, fellas. Are you someone that you would want to sleep with? If the answer to that question is no, get off your lazy ass and go to the gym. Take care of yourself. Be someone who is desirable. Ask your wife what she thinks about you honestly, and then make a change in your discipline, in your daily routine, in what you put in your body. Start focusing on the things that are a gift to her. You can add in your sons, you can add in your daughters, or whoever else you want to, be an example for. But the fact of the matter is if we tie it back to what most men want, and look, it's no secret what a man wants. We want to have sex and we want to eat. That's what we want. Right? We do all the other things because it makes everybody else feel loved in our life. But I want to sleep with my wife all the time. That's what I want. And so 99% of what I do during the day that's sacrificial is to make her feel loved, to meet her needs. And it's not a tit for tat, right? It's not I'm going to cut the grass in exchange for some tail this evening, right? It's just that I know that if I do these things, she's going to feel loved and she's going to covet me. She's going to want me, right? And that's what I want. So it makes it really easy. So my biggest love languages, so to speak, are going to be words of affirmation and sex. Everybody says physical touch. It's sex, okay? My wife holding my hand is not what we're talking about here. And then, so basically, I spend my life doing sacrificial things for my family, for my loved ones, to get two things: love from my wife, intimacy from my wife, and attaboys. Attaboy. My wife telling me good job is like the trophy, dude. The trophy of all trophies is my wife going, dadgummit, thank you so much. Right? Because then I know I'm meeting her needs. But if we go back to the mirror and look at ourselves and go, man, I haven't put on cologne in a year. That doesn't seem like a big deal to you, right? That doesn't seem like a big deal to me, but it's a big deal to them. And understanding that is important. So put the cologne on. Smell nice. Don't be a fat, hairy piece of crap. Take care of yourself. And so this laziness ties into complacency. As we become lazy, we become complacent. And we don't do the things that make our wives feel loved. And here's the thing, man. I've been dating and married to my wife for 12 years. And I have dated or been married to 6 different women as far as how she feels loved. In the beginning, this is super easy. It's so easy to make her feel loved. You take some flowers, you spend some quality time with her, and there it is. She feels loved. All of this changes over time. And so you have to look at your wife as a puzzle that's never going to be complete, a puzzle that's never going to be figured out. It's this game we play where it's like, okay, well, this worked in the past. So does this make her feel loved? Or does taking her out to dinner feel loved? No, we've been going out to dinner for 12 years. No, it doesn't make her feel loved. Is it fun? Sure. But does it have the same sting to it that it used to? No, it doesn't. And so you figuring out these little nuances and figuring out ways to make her feel loved and accepted and safe is a game. It's a puzzle. It's the funnest part of life. It's the funnest part of life to me is to and I told Kara this week. we were talking about this because I knew I was going to do this podcast, and I'd been talking to my friend, and anyway, me and Kara were discussing it, and I told her, I said, I leave her love notes from time to time. I just write a little note or a little poem or whatever, leave it on the bedside table. If I did that every day, the novelty would wear off in 3 months. That's 90 love notes. Who can think of that many? But if I do it once a year, if I do it once every 3 months, it's this little special thing. It's like an arrow in my quiver, right? And the older you get and the more you search and the more you look and the more you try different things, you add arrows to your quiver. And over time, you have all these little weapons or tricks in your bag to make your wife feel loved and appreciated and beautiful. But it takes time and it takes effort. So much effort. It takes so much effort. Do you hear me? This is not an easy game. And it's not supposed to be, and it shouldn't be. Your wife is worth the effort. Her feeling loved and accepted and needed and beautiful and smart and funny is worth your time. I promise you. Your insecurities, man. Take that garbage to the king and let him destroy it. Allow him to come into your life, look at your insecurities, and discipline you in a way that changes who you are. Do not let something as silly as what you think about yourself destroy your relationship with your wife. You go and look at what God says about who you are and what you're supposed to be. And the confidence of walking through life with that knowledge is a game changer. You are a freaking warrior. You're supposed to be a warrior. You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be disciplined. And hey, guess what? It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenging. Nothing worth having is easy. Take it to him. Let him deconstruct that foolishness. Let him use your wife to deconstruct that foolishness. Pray for him to change her heart when it comes to her opinion of you. Pray for him to turn you into the man that you need to be for her. And then give it time. Discipline yourself and give it time. Preconceived notions and unrealistic expectations. Here it comes. Porn. Cut that shit off like a limb, dude. Cut it off. It is cheating. It is adultery. Just the same as if you got in the bed with somebody else. And it poisons your brain. It poisons your brain. It poisons your brain to your sex life. It poisons your brain to what your expectation should be. And it poisons your brain toward the partner that God gave you. It is the enemy's ultimate weapon against men because we virtually have no defense against it except our wives. I'm not talking to single men here. I'm preparing you for when you get married because I don't know how to combat it as a single man. I don't. And combating it as a married man is a minute by minute deal. You got to fight that shit off. And your wife can be a huge, huge help in this regard. But the fact of the matter is what happens is we have these thoughts or visions in our brain of what we want our sex life to look like. And almost never is this going to line up with what your wife is thinking. Okay, so one example I use talking with Evan is you might go out and buy your wife some lingerie. Is she going to put it on? Probably not. Because who wants to wear that? You know what I'm saying? Like, go buy her some pajama pants and a big t-shirt and change your way of thinking into that being lingerie, because it is in certain seasons of life. Now, there might be another season of life where she gets to a spot where that's something she wants to do, is look sexy for you. But here's the deal. It needs to be her idea, not your idea. So if she wants to go out and buy lingerie, let her go buy it. And then maybe if she shows interest in that, then you go buy it. But right now, like for me personally, where I'm at with my life and my kids and our businesses and how busy we are, ain't nobody trying to put on no lingerie. Ain't nobody got time for that. And we don't need it. We got pajama pants and a big t-shirt. But what'll happen is you'll go out, you'll buy the lingerie, and you'll bring it home and you'll expect her to put it on. And she doesn't want to put it on. So now you're mad. Why? Why are you mad? What if she went out and bought you a pink shirt because that's what she wanted you to wear, and you're like, I ain't wearing that damn pink shirt. And then she got mad. Would you be like, I just don't want to wear the pink shirt? Because it's ridiculous. It's a unrealistic expectation. It's unrealistic. You don't want somebody coming in and dressing you. What the heck, dude? So what I'm saying is, in the way that we get to the bottom of this, right? So the question you might ask is, well, then how do I know what to do, right? If buying her flowers doesn't work anymore, if taking her out to dinner doesn't work anymore, if sitting on the couch doesn't work anymore, if just being who I am doesn't work anymore, if buying her lingerie or sexy underwear doesn't work anymore, then what do I do, Dalton? What am I supposed to do to make her feel loved? Ask her. Ask her what makes her feel loved. Go to the source, dude. Go to the source. Have the uncomfortable conversation. Because I'm telling you right now, whether it's received or not received is based on the way you approach it. Okay? So if I walk in and I say, you don't ever want to have sex with me anymore, how do I even make you feel loved? Not received. That's not going to be received. But if you walk in and say, baby, I feel like I feel distant, I feel disconnected, and I feel like I am not meeting your needs. I feel like I'm not making you feel loved. And I'm trying things that worked in the past, but we're just in a new season of life. Can you please communicate with me what makes you feel loved? What are some things that I do that make you feel loved? And if you don't know, let's talk about it. Let's think about it. You know what they're going to sound like? The dishes. Playing with the kids. Taking time off of work to spend time with them. Helping her fold the freaking laundry. Dude, dishes and laundry, ultimate foreplay. You want to get your wife riled up, you hear me? Get in that laundry room. Get over that sink, old son. Get over that sink. See what happens. Talk to her, dude. Ask her. Ask your wife what makes her feel loved. We all know what makes you feel loved. Sex. Attaboys. It's freaking easy. Some good dinner sometimes. It's freaking easy. We know. We all know. Every man listening to this podcast, you know. A woman is a more complex being. It's going to take quite a bit more. And I can't tell you what that is because you need to ask her. This is a case-by-case situation, okay? There's no one size fits all here. Your wife is a gift from God for all of your miserable days on earth. And it's gonna pay you tenfold to have a deep emotional connection with what makes her feel loved. Write it down. I personally take an Expo marker and write it on my mirror. Has to do with my wife and my sons. It says, first bullet point, it says, be the man she wants, be the man she deserves. And then the last bullet point is about my sons, and it says, be the man that they want to be. Write it down. Read it every freaking day. Write it down where she can see it, and then ask her for help on how to get there. This is important, guys. This is wildly important. The reason why it's wildly important is because without this part of your marriage, your percentage of cheating on your wife or getting addicted to porn goes through the roof. Like, without an intimate emotional connection with your wife, without having the hard conversations, without understanding what makes her feel loved and accepted, your selfish nature is going to be really hard to combat. And here's the thing. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm not giving up my ability to father my sons for 3 minutes of pleasure. Let's be honest. 3 to 7 minutes of selfishness and I lose my sons. No, not happening. You take the king, you get in a room with him, and you let him destroy that selfishness in you. And you let him harden you to the outside factors. You let him deconstruct what Satan is building inside of you. And you do it for your wife, and you do it for your children. I told Evan this morning, the 2 greatest gifts I can give my sons is, the first one is to know Christ. The second one is to show them what loving your spouse looks like. Is to prioritize my wife over everything but the king. Do you hear me? If I can show my sons what a good husband looks like, what a loving husband looks like, what a protector looks like, what a provider looks like, and give them a very clear example of what being a man looks like, that is a huge gift. And in order to do this, we have to peel back the layers of selfishness and get rid of them. This ain't no overnight thing. This ain't going to happen tomorrow. This is going to be a dog fight. This is the enemy's biggest weapon against men. Lust. No question. No question. And so when you step into this fight and you try to better yourself in this way for your family, he is going to come untrained on you. The mental, spiritual warfare that you are going to fight with is, just email me, Dalton@310edu.com, because it's going to get nasty out here. I feel like the enemy has been trying to annihilate me since I started this podcast. It seems like every single aspect of my life, except for my marriage, honestly, has just been wildly challenging. Just unbelievable. Especially in my business life. Like my job, my role at 310, it is just, the enemy is out here clawing at me. And I didn't want to have this conversation today. Like on the way to work this morning, I was driving up here about 4:00. And I was like, man, I cannot talk about this on the internet. And then I kept coming back to why? Why not? No one prepared me. No one got me ready. That's not fair, dude. Like, I should not be scared to have the uncomfortable conversations. That's the enemy. We're not scared to have the uncomfortable conversations. I know that you want to have sex with your wife. I know that every man listening to this that's been married for a considerable amount of time has had phases in his marriage where you didn't have sex with your wife. I know it. And if you haven't got to that phase yet, you're going to get to it. And these are things you can use to make it better, man. Don't disconnect from her. And I'll say all that to say there are times that you need to offer your wife grace. There are times that you need to be self-disciplined. There are times that she's not going to want to, and it's totally validated. And you need to be considerate to this. Now, she needs to be considerate of the fact that that time can't last forever. And y'all communicating about that is important. But you doing it in a way that offers grace and love and acceptance and mercy, and not getting angry with her because she's feeling a certain way or having trouble with a certain thing or just had a baby or whatever. Like, man, one thing I've learned about your wife having kids, the doctor says you can have sex after 6 weeks. That's ridiculous. Most women, I'm not going to say all women because I don't know all women, after having a kid, especially with what comes when you bring the baby home, the no sleep, right? The getting touched all the time, the breastfeeding, all the things, they don't want to, man. They don't want to. Be disciplined. Don't be standing there at the door, butt naked, ready to go on, the last day of the 6th week. If your wife offers it to you, take it every single time. But the fact is that having some sort of understanding of the female cycle, of the things that they go through emotionally, hormonally, when it comes to having kids or month to month or whatever the case may be, it's going to help you to know these things. It's going to help you to prepare your mind for the battles. Because it's in these down times that you're going to have to fight the hardest. And that's okay. Sometimes it's good to fight. So talk to her about it. Like, hey, right before your period, why are you so angry? It's a hormonal thing. It's apparently called the luteal phase. But that's when they're the maddest. It's when they have hard time. Not all women, I'm sure. But understanding these things is important. Freaking look it up, dude. Do some research. Talk to her about it. Because if you understand when this is coming, it's going to help you out. It's going to help you out. It's going to give you weapons. No question. Anyway, that's a heavy one. That's a heavy one, guys. But I felt like I needed to talk about it. I felt like I needed to. My friend yesterday was like, you have got to do a podcast on this. And I was like, dude, it's super easy, like on the phone. Like sometimes I wish I could just record my phone conversations of what I'm talking about with a guy. But not everybody wants their crap out there. And not everybody wants to talk about uncomfortable things like this. But if you're listening, I'm here with you, man. I'm here with you. I'm walking down the road with you. I want you to be successful. I want your wife to feel loved and accepted and safe. And I want you to learn how to do it. And you can. I don't care how far gone you are. If you're weighing 300 pounds, ain't seen your pecker in 5 years, let's get up and get after it, baby. Let's start drinking some water. Let's eat some chicken and some steak, and let's freaking get after it, because you're not too far gone. You're not. So I've had a couple of emails this week, some unbelievable emails that I want to talk about. I just want to appreciate you guys, or say that I appreciate you guys for the encouragement. It really helps me keep going. It's been a really rough couple of weeks. I've kind of got behind on the podcast. I got some people coming on. I got some people to schedule. So we're going to continue to be disciplined with it. At least once a week, we'll have an episode coming out. Hopefully 2 a week. My goal is 2 a week, but hopefully at least once a week. And the encouragement from guys is unbelievable. And you guys sharing your hardships and your struggles with me, it helps me. And that's what the Art of Suffering is all about. It's all about sharing hearts and burdens and just doing life together. So if you got something you want to share, just email me once again at dalton@310edu, and we'll talk about it. If you want to come on the podcast, email me at dalton@310edu, and we'll schedule a time. And you don't have to have a following. You don't have to be profound. You don't have to be some huge believer. You don't have to be anything. If you want to get on and visit, let's get on and visit. I think that's what's cool about this podcast is like the people that I'm talking with are my friends, and we're just normal people. And I think that's relatable. I think that's something that people relate to, because not everybody's a Joe Rogan, man. Not everybody's Jocko. Not everybody went to Afghanistan and fought in Ramadi. You know what I mean? Like, while there are some really cool parallels you can make in battle when it comes to listening to those guys talk, and I love listening to their podcasts, us normal everyday people fight different battles. And so the goal is to relate to and share those battles with each other so that we know we're not alone. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out the artofsufferingpodcast.com. I have a blog coming out each week where I'm just sharing lessons learned. I've been kicking around the idea of starting a book, which sounds ridiculous. And basically everyone in my life is like, the heck, you're not going to write a book, which makes me want to do it even more. So I'm thinking after the busyness of Brandon season and we get through these pre-sale ropes and all the things, I might sit down and start writing that out. I kind of have 2 ideas for it. It'd be the Art of Suffering's Lessons Learned, where I discuss basically my life, kind of the same as the blog, if any of you read that. And then the Art of Sacrifice, discussing things like this, how to hone your mind and your body into something that the enemy can't screw with. Anyway, just some ideas. We'll see where they go. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.